Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Thank God it's Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Hey, yeah, guess what? We're here. Sure enough. Skype is just a real bear. A real bear. Just a real pain in my patootie.
There's a B word I would use, but it's not bear.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ironworx right here, not on Truth Frequency Radio or TFRlive.com, which is the same fucking thing, just because I didn't add TFR to the call, just because Skype is being a son of a bitch, and just because I don't really give a shit at this point.
I absolutely don't. Maybe a day to have that discussion.
You know, I was thinking the same thing just as I was playing music. I'm like, maybe I just dropped that little message this morning on my way out the door. But then I thought, well, who wants to do live production at 4:30 in the morning?
Right. Right.
But no, we got everything set up and we're on time, ready to go. And as soon as we start the call, turns out Skype doesn't work. All the Skype settings are jank.
Like none.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I keep coughing at y'all. I have excuses, but there's no point.
So by the time we got Skype figured out, it was already like 5 minutes, 10 minutes after. Zack couldn't even get on Skype. It was a whole thing. So then we sat here for another 5 or 10 more minutes, just deciding whether or not we were going to actually go live. What the hell we were going to actually do. So this was it. This was the decision.
Here we are.
The
decision has been made.
Sans breaks. So this will be. We'll make up for the late coming in with the lack of having to go.
And that's if we go a whole 2 hours. Even.
That's a good point. That's a real good point.
You know, I mean, sorry. I'll get it down in a minute. Hey, rather than me sitting here typing, and that's not fun. On a plane is here. I see you, Roberto Page. What's up, brother? Backwards World, JG. Welcome back, my friend. Is that the man himself of the hour, Alan Holman, in the house? Good to have you here this morning, sir, even though it's not officially on TFR. Ben Flat, hi there. Ian as well is hanging out. I just saw another person and I'm scrolling too fast. Bobo is here going Bueller. Yeah, we had a little technical fart this morning. Daz, good morning, sir. Good to see you. I missed you guys Tuesday morning when I didn't make it due to my own technical difficulties. Vividness 420. Hello. Dino. What's up, Dean HD? Liz. I knew she was here. What's up, Liz? Brian Evans. Good morning to you. Who'd I miss? Zombie Snoop. What's up, Zombie? We haven't played in a little while, brother. We need to get back on that.
Yeah, Zombie came in and helped us Tuesday carry the show.
Yeah, you did.
I appreciate that, friend. I definitely do. I'm sure I miss people. Just say something in chat and I'll say hey to you. Oh, I know what I did. Let me put it back on. Why? I'll say it's acting up. Anyway, I'm here. Y'all are here.
Yep.
Seems like, I see the Globe Light Tour got rained out today. That's terrible. I was watching Jason and the Groove. Yesterday, I believe. Yesterday, is that it? No, Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday. But I was thinking we need to reach out to Jason, get him in here once he finishes this madness. He may want to hang out and talk to us live while they're doing it, but I know it's a bit hectic getting such things underway and keeping them going. So we'll reach out. I think he's still hanging out on my Skype every now and again. I see him, or Telegram, one of them.
I know Zach is here. He's been conspicuously quiet since we started the show.
My eyes are really bothering me right now. I don't know what it is.
They need some sleep.
When I touch them, it hurts. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I just saw Brian. I knew I was missing some name. What's up, Brian? J. Gaskell. Hope you feel better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need to pour some coffee on my brain. I haven't even made one yet.
Oh. Yes, Vivid. Yes, more. We are also looking forward to the show later. Jerry will return with his buddy Anon in tow, but he'll also be bringing Sherry Sweeney, his co-author, co-host. I can't wait to get to know her as well. He has plans on really interacting with the chat this time around that we ignored completely last time around because the conversation with Jerry tends to get quite involved. And get your questions ready. Write them down.
You can send them in. You can
send them in.
Write them on your hand.
Questionable if they'll be seen, but you could. I'm silly.
I did make the point.
Them in today, we'll check and make sure. There's a number floating around somewhere.
Indeed, there is. I think I've got it somewhere. Posted up there on the screen now. 304-503-3528. You can text your messages. You can call and leave a voicemail because it doesn't forward to my cell phone. I was talking to Paul on the plane. Paul on the plane has his little flat line too that he has forwarded to his cell phone so that anytime somebody calls his flat line, his cell phone rings. And that would make me super nervous. But I had a real good conversation with Paul on the plane on Wednesday. Yeah. Real good stuff's going on. Very interesting.
And it's tough not to spoil it, but I think I'd rather let him be the one to explain it since I don't really have a clue yet. And you definitely have more of a clue than I do, but still, I think we should get him back on soon for that very topic.
I think you'll be excited. I think you'll be probably about as excited as I was. And I really think there are people here in chat that would get hyped about it too. This is something that factors into Flattoberfest for people going to Flattoberfest. Mm-hmm. There's all sorts of stuff that this is going to factor into. And I don't want to get into it too much, but it's a
teaser.
Well, Paul called me, got me excited. So my brain's just been percolating on all the gadgets and gizmos that we have on this end that would benefit. I'm just talking cryptically at this point and probably ought not and just move on to something people can actually understand.
That would help. Maybe. Who knows?
Well, he did put out a video yesterday, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he's got videos out on the topic. It's not like it's a hidden secret. It's just something we haven't broached here with him on the show. I tried really hard before he got out of here, but he had plans and needed to go. So But I had it I had the page ready to go. I was excited, definitely.
Well, the
It's
plan was to have it get signed up last night, but I was so damn tired by the time like 7 o'clock hit. I struggled for another 90 minutes to even stay awake that long. But the plan was to get set up myself and just get started, because I think, again, so many different avenues, so many things possible here that I at least wanted to be able to come in and clue everybody else in myself, and only because I haven't signed up myself and done anything about it is the reason I'm not openly talking about it. Then it's Govii, Govvi. And here's the essential breakdown of this. And I'll do it, and you guys could probably contact Paul on the plane or wait 24 hours and I'll drop my link, because again, this was something I'm definitely gonna check into. But he's got some really cool, they're fuel catalyst tablets. So the mining industry, the Department of Defense, the transportation industry, a lot of fleet management companies use fuel catalysts, because when you're dealing in large volume like that, even saving a few percent on your gas mileage ultimately works out in the long run. But it was pretty much these large commercial ventures that had access to these fuel catalysts. And mainly it was people running diesel machinery, I think, were the main consumers of the fuel catalysts. But once regular grade fuel, gasoline, once those prices started to skyrocket and everybody was looking at $4 or $5 per gallon or more, especially if you're buying it by the liter, they saw a really huge demand for a fuel catalyst for the everyday common man. And they decided to go ahead and offer their commercial product to all of us. And that's what Govii is. These are the little fuel catalyst tablets. And it's supposed to increase your fuel mileage by 10 to 20%. You get increased horsepower because it's going to clean and decarbonize all of that shit that's up in your engine. So it runs cleaner. You get less emissions, runs with more horsepower and more efficiently. And it doesn't just do this forever, right? You can only get so much fuel efficiency increase. But then once you sort of max out, you can still continue to use it, because you can start downgrading your fuel. If your car only runs on premium, you can start downgrading that, because when you're adding this fuel catalyst, it's almost like an octane booster, where because you're burning fuel more efficiently, as if with octane, that your car is going to run better. So you don't have to spend all your money on those fuel upgrades, because you can supplement that with these little pills. These cool little pills. You just drop one in the gas tank. One pill treats 15 to 20 gallons of fuel. I mean, just the change that Paul reported having on his truck. Here's the change that I personally saw. It made me want to order a pack. But then it took about 10 more minutes of thinking, man, like, I know guys in the refuse industry, trash men who could take this to their bosses and be like, look, these will increase or decrease our fuel costs across the board. Who would not want to take advantage of that? I mean, you could, the possibilities are limitless.
Needs more money for next year.
Well,
yeah, you know,
but they don't care,
but
because they're not driving.
No, it's a great idea. Yeah. No, I'm just being cynical.
Yeah.
I'm playing your role. The lawyer. No, yeah, I was watching that. It's amazing. And I'm surprised that they actually allowed this to come out. It makes me think that it's big oil or something behind it getting the money.
It's been out for a long time. This technology won the Nobel Prize in 1973. Right? This isn't new technology that's just coming out. This stuff that's been around. And if you were in the transportation industry, or if you were in the mining industry or the aerospace industry, then you might have known about this particular company with this particular formulation. Otherwise, no, we probably would have never heard about it. But once that company saw the consumer gas prices skyrocketing, they thought, well, there's more market. So they opened up their commercial to the consumers, and that's where Paul came in. I thought, well, damn, that's just brilliant. Who doesn't want to save a couple extra?
They're diesel.
I dropped a link to a PDF that has the actual research that you are talking about, sir.
The brochure, yeah, good deal. I've got it saved on my phone too. It's really interesting stuff. Yeah, but one pill, diesel, gas, it doesn't matter. It's a catalyst for either. Goes right in. Yeah, 15 to 20 gallons.
Is this anything like that? What's it called? It's too early. I'm having a brain fart. There's stuff I always would add whenever I'd fill my tank up.
Like Seafoam?
Yeah, kind of like Seafoam, but not Seafoam. It was made for this. You get better gas mileage and blah, blah, blah. Heat.
See, and heat, what heat does, heat just evaporates the water that's in the fuel.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's not heat. No.
There's there's detergents that you can pour in, and the detergent is supposed to help clean out the carbon that builds up in your engine, and cleaning that out reduces your emissions and all that other stuff. I mean, and there's that, and you have an octane booster, and the higher octane in the fuel will help clean out some of those carbonized stuff that's in your engines as well. So you can have the octane boosters, which will do essentially the same thing, and you can have the detergents, which can do essentially the same thing. The thing about the Govee is it's this one little pill. I think the price difference is huge, but the technology,
that stuff isn't cheap. It was like $20 a bottle.
Yeah, see, and that one bottle treats your 15 to 20 gallons. It's like $35 for a pack of 5.
Wow, that ain't bad at all.
No, not at all. So that's something I'm definitely looking into. Again, huge possibilities out there. Huge. So
I see Walter has a friend. Somebody wanted to be on camera. Have they ever been around a dog? No?
Nope.
I wonder what they do. All right, I gotta stop watching you. I could sit there and watch a cat just for hours. Yeah, I love
Binks is becoming real. So I think I did mention it that we found out that Binks is not a
I knew
California
it wouldn't last
mix.
long. Sorry, Josh. I knew she wouldn't be here long. That's why I popped the camera on real quick. She's very hard to keep still. Go ahead.
I was just going to say we found out Binks wasn't the California mix that we thought, but she's a Holland Lop mix, as determined by the fact that her 2 straight up ears went to one ear that just kind of falls down next to her face. So one ear's up and one ear's down, sort of a as above, so below type thing. They call them helicopter ears. Why? I don't fucking know, but that's what they call them. But she's doing really good. She's getting big.
Ooh,
adulting.
Hang on.
Ooh, come back for more.
Just a taste when she's gone again.
So, good Lord, this is really... Have you ever heard of the Daily Dot?
Nope.
Me neither. This is why I'm going to just say, don't ever recommend me another. It's all about this millennial who quit her job on video, and she was so tearful because her boss told her how. Oh, let me get it right. I don't want to put words in her mouth. All the awful things my boss says to me. She had to quit because her mouth. I literally get told how terrible of a person I am and how unsmart I am.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like
I
someone's.
don't think the millennials know what the word literally means. They all use it. They're like, I literally saw a unicorn fly over. It's like, no, you didn't. Okay. Literally means for real. Like, literally, it happened. You don't use literally and then throw something out there that isn't possible. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she just can't stand how her safe space must have been really
Violated?
Yeah, it violated her safe space.
Was the boss saying terrible things like do your job, clean up, wear the proper fucking uniform, greet fucking people as they come through the door, thank them for their fucking don't get me started, dude.
Patronage, yeah.
It already was, bad. It was already bad pre-bullshit, pre-crap, pre-planned bullshit to derail everything. And now, apparently, the people that are left that they can hire I can't tell you the number of times I've walked into the local grocery stores and they're just sitting on the cart. I mean, not the cart rack. Sorry, the cat's in my coffee. The paper bag rack area, just sitting there on their phone, just going away. And I just kind of stand there as I walk in. I go, oh, hey, thank y'all for being here. And I go grab my basket and do my shopping. When I get to the front and get my stuff and they start scanning away, I'm like, oh, I'm doing fine. How you doing today? It's just beyond at this point. And they just look at me like I've got three heads. What's the problem? Hand me my money and my receipt and start scanning the next person's shit. I'm like, thank you. I'll come again. And walk on out. Oh, my God.
Big shout out to Nick Phuket word in chat.
What's up, Nick? You got here just in time to hear me bitch. I'll stop.
But how many generations didn't have this same bitch? I mean, the details, the very specifics are altered and updated for the times, but the lazy youth.
Yeah, but not in the workforce, not at your job. No, sir. You got your ass sent down the fucking road if you didn't do your job properly and treat customers with fucking respect. I used to be in the customer service industry for quite a few fucking years. This is a sore point for me. I managed levels of customer service representatives who did nothing but earn awards for their fucking service. That's what it's called. Okay, I'll stop. I'll mute.
No, you're right. Well, it's different out there now. It really is. That's why I never got into customer service. I didn't want to deal with people. I always liked the job where it's like, tell me what to do, leave me alone, and let me do it. I did work in kind of. I worked at a Sam's Club. Jeez, I was only there maybe 6 months, and then I went and got a better job. But I worked there because all my buddies were working there. But I had to walk around with a vest on that said, ask me, I can help. I would turn that shit inside out. But once I was there a month, I pretty much didn't care anymore about if I kept the job or not. I was almost trying to get fired. Yeah. No, I don't like dealing with people. And some people aren't good at it. They shouldn't be in those jobs. But yeah, a lot of these, I don't know. feel like an old man talking about these youngsters nowadays and back in the day. But no, you're right, Walt. It's different. But I don't think managers and owners have the options anymore.
It's different
that they
because you were the one they were bitching about. That's why it's different. When the old people were bitching growing up, they were bitching about us. The only thing that makes it different now, aside from those very specific details, are the fact that now we're the old fuckers bitching about the youngsters. That's what makes it different.
Yeah, even though I didn't like the old people, though, I did it.
About the taste of music that doesn't exist and the horrible crowd that gets put on. I get it. Yeah, okay. Oh, God. No. I was both a great employee and a fucking manager who made sure my employees were great employees. So, everywhere, any job I had, that's how I was. Once again, I was raised that way. Hey, what's up, Martini and Rossi? I see you, Martin. Boy, brother, boy. And I'll stop bitching. Let's get off this topic, or I won't.
Oh, I found an article about surprise asteroid mystery unraveled.
Finally.
Barrel towards Earth from blind spot. So this one they didn't see coming.
Fucking spherical blind spot. That's what happens when you live on a ball. You get a blind spot.
And it says we need just a few weeks before the world observed Asteroid Day, which is June 30th, I guess, and promotes global awareness to help educate the public about these potential threats. Why? I mean, seriously, if there was something really coming that was going to wipe out Earth, do you think they'd tell us? In any of the asteroid movies, did they ever go and tell the public when they knew? No.
Nope.
They don't want.
The public will figure it out when the asteroids start smashing down upon their faces.
But they never tell the people. It's always like a last second thing because they don't want, mayhem in the streets and blah, 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 blah.
It'd be anarchy.
People won't pay their bills till that last second like we need them to.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you hear about they think they found like a Lord of the Rings type mountain, like Helm's Deep, a big huge thing built into the side of a mountain in Iraq?
Placid. Well, so anyway, yeah. I had seen maybe a video go by. Sorry. I didn't get on it though. So give me some details.
Yeah, they think it might be the royal city of Natunia, Natounia, based on the discovery of intricately carved rock reliefs depicting an ancient leader, a new study finds. So it's got barracks. They say this is what these buildings were, yada, yada. The stronghold, known as Rabbana Merkuli, was once part of the Parthian Empire, also known as the I don't know what that is. Arsacid Empire. So about 247 BC to 224 AD. So right around those 500 years.
Somewhere in there.
The Parthians were bitter enemies with the Roman Empire and fought various battles against them for over 250 years. Now, new research at this 2,000-year-old fortress suggests that it served as one of the empire's regional centers. I've never even heard about this empire, Parthian Empire. But I don't know a whole lot about Iraq either.
And that's what happens when you go up against Rome. Erased from the history books.
It's situated at the base of Mount Pyramagrin, in the Zagros Mountains. The matching reliefs are said to depict a king of... What is with these names, man?
It's like some...
He's a king of something.
They can't write the article in English? Fuck.
Based on the dress of the figure, in particular his hat, we think that the fortress was built by the ruling dynasty close to the kingdom's eastern border. So they think that the Parthians built it. Again, this is all his story, though. You know? What if it is like Helm's Deep? Like the stories of lore, and I wonder where Tolkien got all his stuff from. I mean, to the day he died, he said that this was more realistic than the history that we're told. So this was by far the largest and most impressive site of the Parthian era in the region, and the only one with royal iconography. Its fortifications enclose naturally defensible terrain and can be viewed as an extension of the surrounding highland landscape. If you're familiar with The Lord of the Rings, it's basically a real-life Helm's Deep. Okay.
That's pretty nuts.
I would love
I
to
think
see it.
most history is found in a lot of fictional novels. That's just how it's always felt to me. It's that thing where the soul knows truth. And, you know, even before I knew that the quote we use is quite literal, that truth in movies, you know, lies on the news. It always felt that way when I would read certain things by certain authors, that this is the truth, not that crap that's, you know, being fed to me at school. And then when I started really getting into history in high school, I had a great teacher, and then got more into it in college, did my own, the mudblood level of bullshit, but even the basic levels of history being written by the winners, you know, pushing forth ideologies and cultural ideas to justify the way of life a certain society has, all this. Yeah, I think most of the fantasy histories have a whole lot more truth. Mythologies, good Lord, I knew every word I was reading as a young kid, like 7 and 8 years old. Loved Greek mythology. Had every book from every library within about 6 cities or towns or whatever where I lived. Constantly getting in trouble because we were constantly paying late fines because I would keep them and read them. And yeah, I knew those myths were the truth, and most of what I was being fed was bullshit. And fast forward to today, and we get even deeper looking at you, Martin. So yeah, I think that's where the history is. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. It kind of reminded me of that mountain. I think it's in China, maybe, with the pipes running all through it. And that's been
That was wild.
Forbidden archaeology a long time. That story's been around at least since my teens or 20s. So,
did you hear?
Go ahead.
The James Webb is damaged beyond repair.
Irreparably damaged. Shit made me that $10 billion. Will we get like 3 picks? Sweet.
You gotta hate those micro meteors. Somehow they've missed the ISS all this time. Well, except for that one hole from the album cover, I think. But other than that one, miraculously undamaged. Lots of our telecommunication infrastructure, or outfrastructure, I guess. is set up that way. And yet, yeah, here we go. Big money, big money. Pow. They couldn't send a robot out there. They got out there in like, what, 3 months? 80 quadrillion, bazillion, gajillion miles away. So get that robot out there and bleep bloop and it's fixed, I think. Elon could get it done. I know. He got a car in fucking space. Come on, guys. Fuck.
Oh my goodness. So 2 companies are aimed to beat SpaceX to Mars with audacious landing. What happened to the moon? Okay, I can't read the fucking article. It's New York Times. I can't read the article, but why is there all this nonsense with Mars still? About going to Mars. You can't even go to the moon.
Can't do it.
I don't.
What's up, Campbell in the house? Speaking of history, uncovering. Sorry, Zach, I just saw him.
I fucking love these mornings, man. Between Campbell and Nick and Martin and our usual suspects, it's a fucking badass crew there, Jet. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, especially us just kind of doing this on a whim, no commercials, no TFR, just loving it, y'all. If you love Campbell like we do, then you need to come hang out with us. Oh, is that next Friday? Not today. Not later today. No. That's Jerry Day. But next. Oh, wait, am I wrong? Are we still open on the 5th? I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me go look at my calendar before I fuck this all up. Because, yeah, things are complicated sometimes.
No, I think next week is Mike after.
That's what I said. Wait, that's the 5th. I'm looking ahead at the wrong date. On the 12th. So if you show up over here on the 5th looking for Campbell, oh, no. You'll be surprised to find Mike Stellium over here, Stellium 7. What you'll find is on the 12th, Campbell will be here with us. Good Lord.
And this is going to be not to say we had a bad interview with Mike. I thought it went awesome, but
no,
we
it
really
just wouldn't
didn't get
need to be on our main
into
channel, man. Yeah. Damn.
And we didn't get into his topic at all, really.
It was so amazing hearing this man's history, and it was just great. The whole history of hacking and the history of the truth of it.
Yeah, that was an awesome show.
Amazing. I have been bugging Paul, my brother, to watch it, and he just hasn't had time. Things have been crazy over there. And shout out to my brother. Love him. Y'all send him some extra love and energy up there in Oregon. He's going through some health things right now, little kind of some heart issues. Nothing that they can really tell him what it is. All they can keep telling him is what it's not, which is a heart attack or, any of the things to really be scared of. Inflammation, nothing yet that's terrifying, but it's definitely causing him a lot of distress and sleepless nights. And so, yeah, give him some extra love. But yeah, I keep telling him the show with Mike he has to watch because of the whole he was early into the hacking too, like I was, playing with phones and doing all that crap, life hacks, not just computer. But then he took it into the computer early. He was a computer justifier. We got you straight, Campbell, on the 12th. You're right, it was my mistake.
Yeah, the show tonight's going to be amazing. If you guys have any questions on, the things that go bump in the night, those little shadows you see out of the corners of your eyes, and you turn to look and they're not there.
Yeah,
They
Snoop
might have
those
actually
shadows earlier
been there. They might, you may not just be seeing things or, those crazy weird thoughts that you have every once in a while. Like, there's my dog. I'm going to go pet it. And then you think, I'm just going to snap this dog's neck. And you're like, what? Why did I think that? I love this dog. I would never do that to this dog. Why would that thought pop into my head? Well, Jerry's got an explanation for that. It's not just schizophrenics that hear these I always thought that a schizophrenic heard like an audible sound, someone talking to them, like from outside of their head. But no, a schizophrenic hears that little voice that we all hear inside our head, but it just says crazy shit. Real crazy shit. Yeah, it's amazing what this man has uncovered. It just blows my mind. I can't wait. Yeah, but tonight is going to be the question and answers. If you haven't seen, we've had him on twice now. Since we had him on a couple years ago, it's one of those guests that is always on my mind. Like the topics that he covered and some of the things he's said and told me, they just rang so true that I think about these things all the time. You know, when I have those thoughts now, I laugh, you know, like, haha, nice try. And I don't have them nearly as often anymore. Ever since I met Jerry, I don't have these thoughts nearly as much. And I think it's because, you know, I am on the right track of knowing what a lot of these things are. I think Jerry's right about all this. I mean, have you ever heard of that? What is it? Don Benet, or what is it? There's a syndrome where people see little people. Their eyes start deteriorating. It's something to do with the degenerative eye disease.
Macro degeneration.
Yeah. But I mean, and these people are all across the plane, never spoken to each other, this and that, but they're all saying that they see the same thing. So are these people somehow all hallucinating the same exact stuff? Are these people crazy? And it just so happens that they all see the same stuff? Or are all the same stuff that they're talking about, is that stuff really there around us? And, you know, most people can't see it. Most people, you know, when they have these crazy thoughts, they can let it go. But some people, maybe they dwell on these thoughts. And that's what I think we classify as a schizophrenic. Someone who really hears these things speaking to them and, you know, they almost act upon it. So these things keep hitting them more and more and more and more. It's like fishing. When you find a good fishing hole, you don't, you know, that's where you go fishing. If you find a nice little pond where you always catch fish, and then there's the lake over here, but you never catch fish at the lake, where are you going to go fishing? You're going to go to the place where you catch fish. So if these things are out fishing with all of us at all times, you know, whispering little stuff into our ear to try to get a reaction. If you don't give them a reaction or give them the opposite of the reaction they want, they're not going to come bother you so much anymore. They're going to go bother the people that they get the reactions from. Those are your schizophrenics, but they bother all of us. It's wild, folks. It really is. It'll blow your mind.
Speaking of wild, we got a little wild mix up. Okay, Zach, here's what's happening, bro. It's the 29th, the end of this month is when Stellium will be here. We got confused because we forgot there's still another week. So the 5th is Campbell, guys. The 5th is Campbell. Campbell will be here on the 5th. I finally got my phone up and open and saw all that as you were going into the story, and I saw Campbell going, wait, what? So, yeah. So, everybody, the 5th will be Campbell. Without a doubt. And then 29th, it would be Stellium.
I can't wait.
All right, so write that down. Wake the neighbors. Call the kids. Something like that. All right, I'm just double checking something else to make sure that we have somebody actually on the fence, and we don't. So we'll have to swing for the fences and see what we can do.
So Synchron implanted its device into its first U.S. patient. Here's what that means for its competitor. So Synchron, the brain-computer startup and Neuralink rival, is beginning its FDA-approved human trial in the U.S., following a human trial in Australia. So Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain computing startup, has yet to receive approval to implant its technology in humans. However, Neuralink's competitor, Synchron, has implanted its first device into the brain of a U.S. patient. In this case, one with ALS, a neurodegenerative disease that's affected the patient's ability to move and speak, as reported by Bloomberg. Okay, the hope is that the patient will be able to browse the web and communicate through email and text just by thinking. The device would translate the patient's thoughts into action through commands sent to a computer. It's already implanted its devices in 4 patients in Australia. These patients are reported by Bloomberg to have no side effects, and the device has allowed them to send messages through WhatsApp and make online purchases. Okay, so what happens when you're sleeping and you decide, oh, I want to buy this? Or I want to send this message to this person because I'm all pissed. Is there like an off switch on this? Like, okay, I don't want people to know what I'm thinking right now.
Dude, I can put my computer to sleep. I'm sure they've got that feature built in.
Well, you would hope so, but I mean, is it really asleep?
What I want to know
Or
is, can you
somebody at
pause
the
the
other
fucking
end?
updates like every 7 days until it breaks? Good. What is going on with people, dude? At this point, really, do they really think the shit they see in movies is going to be happening just because they put a chip in their head?
Oh, but that's not it. Once the device is implanted, a second procedure connects it to a computing device implanted in the patient's chest.
Uh-huh.
The stentrode reads the signal produced by neurons firing the brain and then sends the signal to the computing device, which sends it to a computer or phone through Bluetooth. So I really have to have this thing like stitched into my chest? I can't like just carry it around with me? Meanwhile, Neuralink is working to develop a surgical robot to implant its small dish-shaped device into a patient's brain. The device would then process and filter signals on the embedded computer chips. But yeah, I mean, we can turn our smartphones off, but does that mean that there's not somebody out there that can, still listen and watch what's going on the camera? I mean,
2000 through 2003, I could put in a series of things into a certain program and activate anybody's shit on their phone. Anybody. It didn't matter what you had it set as, blah, 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 blah.
that's what I'm saying. So who's going
That
to
was
stop you
2000
from
to
looking
2000.
right into your thoughts if you have this in your head? And I think a lot of this is they need us. The people who, run this place, supposedly, it's a big air quotes there. I don't think they have imagination. I really don't. I don't think they don't have that creativity to capture other people's attention. They rely on us or artists, a different kind of person. And they steal that art and use it to control other people. This is scary. This is going to put all of your thoughts, your little private, library in your head, and just open it up to these people. A 100 needles that are pushed into the brain when implanted. has been the standard for relaying electrical signals from the brain to a computer since its development in 1992. Wow. But the array is based in 1990s technology and can only cover a fraction of the brain's 86 billion neurons. Now, why would the array still be based on 1990s tech? I mean, wouldn't you think as, I don't know. But that's about the end of that arc. That's scary.
Yes, it is. Oh man, did I touch that? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is indeed. And that people are still willing to do this. Interesting about the thing in the chest, there was an early implant device I found as we were all finding our way off the ball, I guess, around that in 2015, 16, something like that. And it was a thing that would allow you to be aware of magnetic north all the time, like a bird. And the way it worked was some type of magnetic implant in your chest that your body assimilated and became part of your whole thing. And suddenly you were a bird that knew where north was all the time without looking or whatever. I didn't understand it. It's madness to me. And that was that long ago. But it was in the chest area. I thought that was bizarre. And here we are again. Putting things in the chest. Weird.
Now, I think it's great that they make advancements for, you know, people that are unable. You know, because there are people out there with these horrible afflictions like ALS and stuff like that. So yeah, it can make life better for some people, but the scary part is when, you know, they're wanting to put this into everybody. The healthy teenager that doesn't really need it, you know, that can pull his phone out and send an email and doesn't have to just think it. I mean, we are already lazy enough. We have machines and computers doing so much of our, you know, daily get through of life. This just seems like super lazy to me. This reminds me of that movie where all the people are sitting around in those sofa chairs that hover up on the spaceship. And they were all in shape and they all, you know, they took off and they were all the best of the best, the astronauts, and we're going to go see the universe. And then they're up there for like 3 or 4 generations or something like that. And by the 4th generation, they're all 300 pounds, never leave their sofa recliners that hover them all over the place. It's just not going to a good ending, in my opinion. All this tech.
Well, let me show you where it's headed, buddy. You want to hear about some tech? Josh clued us into something I'm pretty stunned by. It's called Arrival of the Gods. Now, hold on, strap yourself into this one. This is a book, but not one you read. Oh, no, no, no. This is not a mistake. This is the first video novel. Don't we already have those? Isn't that what movies are? Video novels? Am I confused here? I may be confused. Arrival of the Gods is a hard sci-fi novel set in the near future, and you can kickstart it too. Video novel. That's a fucking movie in normal people's minds.
A video novel, they're calling it?
No, not a movie, not a movie. It's a video novel. First time this has ever been done. Okay, moving on. So here's a question I used to ask people in like, some of those classes that talking about old astrophysics, orbital mechanics, and so here's the old Haley, and it goes out 80 years and comes back, and here's all these mysterious things that we can track and know where they are, and yet they couldn't answer simple questions. And one of the questions has been answered, it would seem. Apparently, we now know why doesn't the inside of the solar system spin faster? You know, like a record or a gear ratio or things like that, which would, I guess, be logical if you think through the like orbits and mechanics and things like that. But oh no, 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 no. Now, you know, I shouldn't even started this because it's, of course, an 8.5 mile long story. Excuse me. But it all breaks down to the sorry, I am choking to death here. It is a basic thing with all these particles and charges, and it's all about spin and charges and negatives and positives, and it's just all a bunch of word salad that means absolutely nothing because it makes no sense in actual physics. Anyway, I'm sorry. This bug me. Just like this other story I just noticed, if Neptune's orbit moves 0.1%, it could destabilize the entire solar system. Unlike those near miss Earth asteroids that come by every couple of weeks, or those things like the Shoemaker-Levy comet that made a mark on Jupiter's surface that was going to hit us, but Jupiter said, no, I'll take the block. And yeah, none of that affected the solar system, but just 0.1% destabilization, that could wreck the whole fucking house of cards. Of course, it would take a star, I guess, a stellar flyby, they're calling it, to do such a thing. So there goes my rant about asteroids and whatnot. What would cause a star to fly by? I'm confused. Isn't that what we were just talking about in the other story about how this stuff's all stabilized and all worked out with charges and spins and stuff? But somehow a star is going to get loose from its place and pull Neptune out of its orbit and wreck us all. I'll send these stories to you guys because really it's a lot of word salad. And if you want to spin it up and have your own space lettuce, here it is. There we go. I guess I'll just share that here. Because shame on me, I forgot to open other things. What? Not sure.
So I found this one. This is another one of those, and I'm not, you know, fentanyl is bad. It is.
It's bad, okay.
It's killing lots of people. I understand that. But you have to actually take the fentanyl. You know, here's another one of these. Do you guys remember the cop video where the cop supposedly overdosed on fentanyl? He never touched it. He was just like around it, they say, because it was like in the air somehow. And fentanyl doesn't work that way. I mean, they got so much backlash for making this stupid. It was like a made-for-TV type crime documentary movie type thing. But they showed a guy ODing on fentanyl that just like touched a baggie or something like that and said he OD'd on the fentanyl. And it doesn't work that way. Now they're saying this deputy was hospitalized after possible. I mean, wouldn't they know? Aren't there blood tests? On duty fentanyl exposure. Because, okay, so I love how they say it too.
It's the on-duty exposure that's possible. It was definitely fentanyl. We're just not sure whether or not he was exposed on duty or if he was exposing himself off duty.
No. Exposed to now as you go into it, of course, fentanyl was in the title, but now it's a Richmond County deputy was exposed to an unknown substance while on duty Wednesday. How is that unknown?
Because
we have drug
fentanyl
tests
in his system.
Well, no, she never had fentanyl in her system. The suspicious person that she made contact with and patted down had used fentanyl a couple hours before that. Didn't have a baggie on him. They never found fentanyl on him or anything like that. He had used fentanyl hours prior. And by her patting him down, looking for a weapon, because he was a suspicious person, that's all they say. They don't say he actually committed a crime or anything. He was just a suspicious person. You know how that works.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel suspicious.
But yeah, so she was exposed to an unknown substance, even though, because they say after possible on-duty fentanyl exposure. That's fucking retarded. Pardon my French, everybody. But we have drug tests. Fentanyl will show up on a drug test. I'm pretty sure, right? We know when this chemical's been ingested into the bloodstream. I wonder if she's all caught up on her her inoculations.
Her fentanyl inoculation.
But it's crazy. Sorry, Josh.
Is it her fentanyl inoculation, just in case?
Yeah. I mean, yes, okay. Drugs are bad, okay. But looking at them is not going to kill you. I mean, the cops brought around a thing and showed us all kinds of drugs in school. Probably the worst thing you could do. Show a bunch of high schoolers what drugs are what.
Right, and all the cool paraphernalia that there are out there to play with, all kind. I didn't have a clue about half the pipes and bongs and all that until they showed them to me in class. Like, oh wow, what's that? I need to find me one of those.
And where would I go to not, if I want to make sure I don't see one of these in a store, what store shouldn't I visit, officer?
Ian makes a good point, tying all of these stories together. They can detect water vapor in a gas giant 1,100 light years away. Touche, Ian. You can't find the fentanyl. Dude.
So they have synthetic nicotine out now.
I was going to say, aren't there patches, fentanyl patches? I think my mom had those when she was going through some back stuff for years. And you touch those, indeed, there in chat. Rico, I see you, brother. Sorry.
The guy who used to cut those open and suck the gel out of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I tried the patches. It never did work for me.
No, that's why he said he had to cut them open and just suck all the shit out.
Right.
Right. I mean,
it was probably easier than trying to keep the damn thing lit because the fucker just wouldn't stay lit.
Awesome. In chat. What's up, brother?
Love you, Austin. Yeah, we got to get on Fortnite, Austin.
Yeah, you got to get straight on Fortnite. Apparently, you've unfriended us. What did we do?
It's because I'm not good enough, isn't it?
It was your son, probably confused about why are these guys trying to get me to play with them. I don't.
Stranger danger.
This weird guy keeps taking me to a maze. I don't know, man.
That's what it was. I took him in, I thought it was Austin, so I was waiting for Walt to come jump in, sent Austin a message. Walt will be here in 10. let's go check out my maze, or sent him something like that. Then his son comes into the maze with me, and I'm just showing him, trying to get him to go into the maze to go look around and check it out. He just starts shooting at me, so I start running and hiding from him.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Smart young man. Yeah, I can't wait for Flattoberfest. I got some cool stuff to show. And this whole Tesla coil thing, man, I can't stop thinking about it. Since last weekend, my brain has been Tesla coil dominated. I think now this is crazy. This might be the first time I say this out loud. I think I said this to David. Like the tree of life, right? At the center. Supposedly, blah, 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 tree of life, right? Well, we have this electric field, and a Tesla coil does the same thing as far as creating that electric field. Because I've always wondered, where is this electric field coming from that we have? How could it be created? Not like I do it with 2 pizza trays, and hooked up with wires and this and that and all that kind of stuff. But I've learned that a Tesla coil kind of does the same thing. It creates that pizza tray on top, but it does it with the air. So what if the tree of life in the center is really just a Tesla coil that's creating our electric field, which pretty much makes it so we can live here, keeps us down to the earth, or maybe that's the prison. That's the thing keeping us here. And that's why we can't go to the center. We're not allowed to go to the North Pole. Now, is that humans telling us we can't go to the North Pole, or is there some other type of being that's there protecting it from human beings? Because if we actually destroyed that tree of life at the center, or a Tesla coil type thing that creates the electric field and everything else around us, then maybe we could kind of destroy this place by stopping that. Maybe something happened to it in the past, and that's why there's, things don't grow huge anymore. We don't have plant species that are 30 times the size they are today, or humans that are 30 times the size we are today. I don't know, but it's been in my brain a lot of how a Tesla coil works and what it's doing. It would make sense to have one at the center of this place creating the electric field. It's just an idea, because there's, I was always wondering, what's up there? What Gaussian surface? Is there like a solid wall above us that's separating us from the waters above?
Layers, baby.
Or
Layers.
are we like on the bottom of a pot that's being heated, and there's an air bubble that's created just from the heat from below us that's separating the waters above from, the waters below? I don't know. I'm trying to put it into my head. It's more puzzle pieces.
Zach, you were looking into Wardenclyffe Tower. Did you happen to run across the relationship with the water table beneath and the ground, and sort of how that relates to the Giza Pyramid, and sort of the relationship between Wardenclyffe Tower and the main pyramid there in Giza?
Well, yeah, I think Wardenclyffe didn't have the water beneath it, but the one he was trying to build out in Colorado Springs did. I think that was his like aha moment, because the Wardenclyffe Tower burned down. But then he went to go rebuild a new one out in Colorado Springs, never finished it. But that was one of the big things. He said he needed like a aquifer underneath, like a water reservoir. And I think that has to do with like Leyden jar type things where you can store the energy in the water. Kind of like the capacitors, the old timey capacitors. I think you needed a huge capacitor to be able to do it.
Think of the energetics that Victor Schauberger was working with and sort of the natural flow of water. I'm wondering if there was some connection between Tesla's work and Schauberger's work, especially as it relates there to the large reservoir underneath his big electrical contraption.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, we were talking about this on Globebusters last night, and Steve from Spacebusters, I love that guy, dude. He's awesome. But he was asking, oh shit, brain fart. I forget. I just started thinking about him. Smart guy, real smart guy. Oh, it's gone. I don't know where it was. It was seeping back into my brain for a second, then it left. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I understand. I'm flagging here myself. I don't know what happened. The coffee was just not getting it done.
And it is almost 5:30. Just a big shout out. It's only going to limit to us to about another 30 minutes before I have to head to work.
It is indeed.
You ain't gonna start no shit, is you? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I want to do the video that really got me looking into electricity and Walter Lewin and stuff like that. I don't think too many people have seen it. But water falling creates electrostatics. Just water falling through the air. Walter Lewin had an example. It was 2 different buckets with the bottoms cut out of it and a little water spout above each of them. And then underneath the bucket, or the, we'll just call it a cylinder, was an actual bucket with the bottom to catch the water. Well, he hooked these wires up and crossed them. So the bucket or the cylinder on the left was connected to the bucket catching the water on the right, and vice versa. And then after those wires touched the buckets, they came close together and were about maybe a half an inch apart with 2 electrodes. Now he would open up this water valve and water would start to pour out of the little hoses down through the cylinders and into the buckets. Well, it would pour like a steady stream at first, and then all of a sudden it would start spattering, kind of like rain. It would start breaking itself into these little tiny drops as the electric potential grew in there. And then once there was the discharge, these 2 electrodes that were down there would discharge. And as soon as they discharge, the water would start pouring like a spout again. It would no longer break up into little balls because all that stored electricity in there was stopping the water from falling straight. I don't know why, but the water, when it's surrounded by a strong potential, tends to break the water up into tiny little droplets. And then once that discharge happens and it gets rid of all that potential, the water starts falling normally again, just like you're pouring it out of a pitcher. But then again, just a few seconds later, it'd take maybe like 7 to 10 seconds. It would start spittering and pattering again. And then all of a sudden you'd see that little discharge and then the water would start falling like normal again. That made me want to research electricity. I don't know why. But that was the video that got me going on, hey, I want to learn about natural electricity. It just blew my mind. Actually, since we're not on TFR, I'm going to pull up a quick thing of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walter Lewin. Oh, man. I forget which one it's in. Oh, there it is. Look at that. 15 years ago he did this. And he's still on YouTube making videos. It was kind of telling when he said he didn't want to speak about flat Earth. He says, I forgive you if you don't want to be my friend because of this, but I will not speak about this topic. That doesn't sound like someone who thinks it's stupid and retarded and insane. That sounds like somebody who's just trying to avoid the topic at all costs.
Yep. I've seen what happens when people have this conversation. And no thank you.
And he's not just, I mean, I know he's older and this and that, and people could maybe wash it off as, oh, he just went senile. But he was an MIT physics professor for 4 decades. Like, one of the reasons why MIT was so accredited was because of him being there as one of their teachers. You know, you just have those types of teachers. There's teachers that, you know, teach and actually get students to comprehend what they're saying. And he was one of those people. I think he was teaching a little bit too much. But that's why we got all of these new inventions and patents and all this new technology out of MIT, because he was teaching his students actual physics. Did you get that video? Dropped it here in the Ironworx.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth.
Nope. Yeah, I did. I just have to get everything set up. We tend not to do a lot of video sharing here on the morning radio show, but since we're not actually on the radio, we will give her a shot and see what happens. Let's see. I can just do my space lettuce.
Yeah, this is going to break your brain, folks. This is what got me into electricity, natural electricity, not in the wires, but just how does all this electrostatics work around us? What's actually going on? This was the catalyst for me.
There we go. What do you guys want to watch it too? Do I need to share screens for you fellas?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Nope.
I mean, I've seen it probably 20 times, but I love it. Yeah, this was my moment of inspiration right here.
Entertain you for the last 6 minutes with something amazing, something that is truly amazing. And it is a form of a battery that is mind-boggling. And the battery is right here on my left, on your right. It is a battery that produces an enormous potential difference. 10, 20 kilovolts. You see a schematic here on the transparency. You have a bucket of water here on the top, and you have glass, and the bucket of water is hiding behind here. Not that because we hide it from you, but that's the best place to be. and you see plastic tubing coming down, and the water can run out on the right, and it can run out on the left. If it runs out here, there is some paint can, no top and no bottom. And you see this paint can here. It's completely open. The letter A. And there's another paint can on the right. There's a letter B. It's a conducting can. This is also a conducting can. And this water runs into another conducting trash can. And this water also runs into a conducting trash can. Now comes a key point. That this conductor here, A, is connected through a conducting wire with C. And the conductor B, the paint can, is connected with a conducting wire to this trash can D. You let the water run for a while, and you will see between these 2 points here, sparks. Even when the points are as far apart as, say, 5 millimeters, when you're talking about at least a potential difference of something like 10, 15,000 volts, you will see the sparks. And you wait, see another spark. And you wait, and you see another spark. So this is a power supply. And there must be energy coming from somewhere. And so problem 4.1, which you haven't seen yet on your fourth assignment, is asking you how this works. I will demonstrate it today, and I will come back to it later. The way it works is actually quite subtle, but I want you to think about it. It's a remarkable battery, a remarkable power supply. As the water starts running, I want to draw your attention to the fact that you can almost anticipate when the spark occurs, because the water at the very last is beginning to spread. It doesn't come out anymore just like a narrow cylinder, but it begins to spread. And then comes the spark. And then it goes back to running normally, and then slowly in time it will spread, and then comes the spark. So let us get it going. Have some light here. Marcos and Bill spent a lot of time getting this going. Marcos, do I have all my lights the way you want them? You're happy with that. There you see the 2 balls, which are really here. And let's first look at the sparks. So I will start the water running now. Let's just be patient a little bit. And let's see where we see in spark. Did you see one? Did you see the spark? Oh, you were not looking. Man, you're paying for this. Look at the look at the 2 balls. Give it some time again. Have to charge up. I can already anticipate it's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah! Did you see it? 10, 15,000 volts. Let's give it a little bit more time, and then we'll take a look at the water flow, which I can see. I'm close. But we can make you see the water flow. Look again. It's coming up. Did you see it? I could see it coming up. I can make you listen by having my microphone near the water, and you can hear this water running. Familiar sound to all of us. And now the sound changes. You hear change, and there's a spark. Once more. It's running. Spreading. Coming up. Yeah! Amazing, isn't it? I can make you see this water. Just stay there. We have 1.5 minutes left. So now you can see the water. You happy with the light, Marcos? You can improve on it. So look at the water. It was just spreading already. You can't see the spark and the water at the same time. So the water is running now normally. It's going to spread slowly. I will tell you when I see the spark here, but it's already, I can almost predict when it happens. The water is spreading now. Coming up shortly. Yeah, I saw the spark. And you immediately see the water go like this. I want you to think about it and explain this. This is one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty friggin' remarkable.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. What the hell?
I don't know.
Well, come on. You've been working on this how many years, Zach? How the fuck's that happening, dude?
No, I never really thought about it. That was the catalyst to me starting all this stuff.
What if you could put a crystal chalice and then apply pressure to the crystal to create the piezoelectric effect?
Yeah. It made me think, does rain pour out? Could something open up in the top and just pour rain out like a spigot? But we see it as little tiny drops because of this. You know, does the water really fall in drops or does it pour out? And then it falling through and all the electrostatic charge. I mean, thunderstorms, definitely a lot more electric potential in a thunderstorm.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but that was the start of my just amazement from natural electricity around us. Seeing that, I was like, what? Are you serious? Why don't we collect this energy every time it rains? He said it's a great battery. A great battery. Huge potentials. I mean, that was 15,000 volts right there. Gathered every 10 seconds. From that little tiny drop of water rolling through there. Now imagine how much energy is out there in a rainstorm. Yeah.
Or what if you had smaller cylinders, going back to Walter Lewin's little setup, inside the bigger cylinders so that even when the water started to spread, because it spreads on the backside. I don't know. Because even then from the water buckets that are catching the water, you could run that again as if it's the top reservoir. So then pass that water again through more cylinders.
Layers, baby. I've been saying it for years now. Fucking layers. It's not just plain, it's up and down as well.
Yeah, Ben Flatt says water makes a better capacitor when you add salt. Yeah,
Salt
I mean, when you add anything
salt
to it,
sea.
when you add anything to water, water is actually pure water. Distilled water is the greatest insulator of electricity. Like, you know, you have rubber, you have glass, and they're like, I think like it's like 10 or something like that. And then, you know, you have a scale. It's like 0 would be like a metal. It's conductive. And then you work your way up, and rubber's up there, and styrofoam, and, you know, you have your glass, and then, but water is like 10 times more than all of them. Pure water, though. It has to be pure. As soon as you start adding any impurities to it, it becomes conductive. Water is the strangest thing in this place. The most abundant, but it is the one, it's like the strangest element that we have. It really is. It's amazing what water does and what we can do to water. But yeah, it's just amazing, this whole place and how it. No, you got to go look that up, Ben Flatt. Pure water is not a conductor. It is the strongest insulator. I mean, that's just, you can go look it up.
As you add things, it becomes a better conductor. But yeah, I think just H2 and an O is pretty good.
It's the best insulator that we know of. It's not used in any type of, I've thought about it, how impossible it would be to use it as a insulator. Because how do you keep water from not being pure?
Flushing.
I mean,
moving it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know how hard that would be?
Mm-hmm.
To constantly keep moving water around something.
To be able to have to distill it and purify it to get it to pure H2O and then pump it.
Yeah.
It's just to insulate it from electricity requires all that electricity. Just doesn't seem smart.
Yeah, water is amazing.
Big shout out to Unintended Consequences.
What?
What's up?
DNA. As I was perusing, looking at another story, I see a story that's showing these hydrous crystals that have water inside them. And you're talking about water and ancient water, and like, so isn't all water ancient?
I suppose energy cannot be created or destroyed, and given the cycle of water, it comes down, warms
I'm
up,
saying it's all pretty
evaporates,
much ancient
condenses,
water. It
falls.
isn't any new water. I don't know. I'm just trying to work it out. Again, layers.
I wonder, when did we talk about the trees? Was that on? When was that?
Was that last Friday?
Friday.
They're showing trees being cut into and water, just huge amounts of water,
Friday.
like fire hose, just coming out of the bottom of these trees as they're being cut down.
And fish. Don't forget to fish.
Yeah, I'm still calling shenanigans on that.
That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, at first I was like, this is just, a weird happenstance. This tree was dead or rotting or dying. And then I found another one and another one and another one. And I was like, well, okay. Just because I've cut down a tree before. But just because water didn't come pouring out doesn't mean that it doesn't happen sometimes. Yeah, that blew my mind. But that got me thinking about the Great Floods. If all this water was stored in these huge, giant, enormous, mile-high trees, just trees we can't even fathom. And if they were all of a sudden cut down and there was all that water stored up in them, that water's got to go somewhere before it, finds its way down back into the deep. Yeah, I don't know, man. Puzzle pieces. More and more puzzle pieces. It's just which ones are, the right puzzle. It's like having 1,000 puzzle pieces for 100-piece puzzle.
Well, 1,000 piece puzzles. They're all black. You got to put together 100-piece puzzles.
But yeah, only one of them's the right one, Yeah, this place. Okay, I understand space was so hypnotizing, mesmerizing. You just wanted to go there and learn and this and that, And then flat Earth happened. And even if space were real, even if I still believed in all that stuff, I now know that there is so much here to learn about this place, a place I can actually go right outside my door. There is so much knowledge just waiting right there. That why am I focusing on some place I will never, ever go? Never be able to test and see and observe myself. This world around us is so vast, and we know so little about it, really. I mean, there's so much still to discover. It's a great con to get everybody focused on this imaginary place. I mean, or even if it were real, even if space was what they said it was, it's still not, tenable. You can't reach it. You're not going to actually obtain that knowledge. And yeah, it's a great distraction. It was well thought out. Whoever thought of it and the whole I mean, they even admit it's based on philosophical grounds. They won't tell you that in your astronomy college courses. But yeah, there's no difference in saying the Earth is the center of the universe or that we go around the sun. Can't be proved either way by observation or any test done here on Earth. You can't prove it. Actually, you can, but they just called it Aries failure and said, oh, we're not moving. Aries failure, I thought, it took me years to get that, to understand what they were talking about, like the physics behind Aries failure. But once you get it, it's so simple. It really is. And it just destroys the idea that we are the thing in motion and not the stars. I mean, that should have done it right there. Whoever thought of that, George Biddle Airy, if he was a real guy, genius. What a great way to set up a test. And then it doesn't come out the way he wants, and nobody really gets to hear about this test and the genius behind this man and that setup. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Malcolm Bowden does a really good covering on Aries failure. Not a flat earther, is a geocentrist. Well, he wasn't a flat earther, at least as of a while ago, a few years ago. But yeah, there's so much here to learn. So much. That it's genius that they've wrapped our heads around this imaginary place. It really is. I don't know what's going on in chat, but I see Nico say, you could stop being so sexy and dressing provocatively. I don't think that was from me.
Yeah, that was not for you.
That's the best way for Johnny Cool to keep from getting pregnant.
Okay. Okay.
The video. I got you. I dropped the link to that Zetetic cosmogony. Yeah. Anyway, it's good. I was kind of perusing it over the last day or three.
Yeah, I just read across that. I saw a post, somebody talking about all of the different search engines that Google will hide from you. And it had listed, so I just clicked on one and did a quick search. It came up with that. And it sounded vaguely familiar once I posted the link. I'm like, why does this book by Rectangle sound familiar? Maybe it's not as unheard of as I thought, maybe at first glance.
It's not one in my collection, so thank you for letting me add it. Real quick there, Andrew B saying distilled water is used to clean high voltage. Sorry, it moved in. Distilled water used to clean high voltage tools at power plants. Knowing this from personal experience. Interesting. Speaking of Andrew, I see you there on Discord occasionally when we're all getting into a game or I'm hopping in with the fam or whatever. If you see me pretty much on Discord, hit me up and see what we're doing and hop in. Again, if I'm on there, I'm there to play something. I don't keep it on at all unless I'm on it.
Maybe I'll drop the IRM Discord channel because we've got a Discord channel too that we've had for several years.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I remember that.
I don't think I've been on in fucking months and months.
Yeah, me neither. That about.
Man, sorry, guys. Yeah, suddenly here at the end, the coffee wore off or something. I had my head will not stop flapping open here. I don't know. I want to fall asleep on y'all, it looks like. Thank you, Liz, for the hair.
Thanks, Liz.
Love you, lady. Love all y'all. Miss y'all this week for sure. As tired as I was and as aggravating as it was to get Skype working this morning, damn sure glad we did.
I can't wait for the Melodome to start back up.
Right?
Wednesday, I was like,
excited
Melodome.
for you, Austin, and I'm sorry things are still a little hectic, but you do have some light and been sending you guys lots and lots of love, my friend.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, this afternoon, Jerry, Anon, and Sherry will all be here to answer questions, get them to us in whatever fashion works for you. So the 29th should be Mike, Celium 7, and then the 5th, we will have Autodidactic Campbell, sir. Thank you for clearing that up for me this morning. I would have caught it and reached out to you if I hadn't saw you in chat there, brother. So anyway, I guess that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Love y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah, no.
Love y'all.
This is about the end of it. So we will see you all back here this evening for some Have No Sphere. Otherwise, we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have TFR in the mix. So those of you that like to listen over on that end will be able to do so. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be good. Be well. Bye-bye.